Welcome back to another edition of Let's Play WWF 2001. The build to the King of the Ring continues with the second round matches tonight, which will cut the field down to 6 as we head to the King of the Ring. June week 3, live on pay-per-view. With that being said, I have not much to say about this episode of SmackDown other than let's jump right in and start the show with highlights of Monday Night Raw. But first we head to jobber matches with Brian Clark. Brian Clark against Dave Taylor. This once again is showing the possibility or promoting the idea that we're giving people tryout matches and that maybe, just maybe, I'm trying, okay, I did Brian Clark and Brian Adams together, now I'm trying Brian Clark by himself to see if he's better as a singles wrestler or a tag team wrestler. And also because I have no interest putting him on TV right now, Dave Taylor's Dave Taylor, that's why they're on the pre-show. Same thing for these guys, more so because I wanted to give Jerry Lynn a win, because the lightweight division sucks, and is very, 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 very weak. And with that being the case, I thought, okay, that means I gotta get more people credible, and Jerry Lynn's ahead of the curve of Funaki, because Funaki's been here long enough to know he's not credible. And he's not to the point of being a lovable jobber yet, so there's that. As I said, the show kicks off with highlights of both Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho's feud to this point, and the highlights of their match from Monday, which I think Jericho won. I want to say Jericho won, and then Kurt Angle came out, or it was either that or that, where Kurt Angle came out and challenged Jericho, saying it's not about the title anymore, it's about proving he's better. And then we have Hugh Morris backstage. Bob Armstrong's just there as like an extra agent talent. You know, Hugh Morris backstage talking up the fact that he's gonna beat Dean Malenko tonight and advance into the next round of the King of the Ring tournament, and this being his first leg in the King of the Ring tournament, and still being a fresh face in the WWE, in the WWF. But Test interrupts and basically tells Hugh Morris, it's a lot tougher than you think there, kid. It's a lot tougher than you think. Because you won't pass me. Because whoever wins, Malenko or Morris, would go on to face Test in the next round, and even though I usually don't have it decided, I just said screw it and did it like that. But either way, Dean Malenko gets the win like I thought against Hugh Morris, and I say like I thought because I didn't pick the winner to any King of the Ring tournament match because I want it to be out of my control, because I would prefer just deciding from the field of 6 rather than a field of 32. So either way, Dean Malenko advances to the next round. Eddie is warming up for his match later tonight, and his nephew comes over and wishes his uncle luck in the match tonight against Rikishi, and Eddie thanks him and and goes out there. Rikishi wins. The reason is twofold. No, this is nothing different than the other one. I didn't pick who won. I actually thought Eddie would win, no doubt about it, but I guess Rikishi wins for whatever reason. But what I'm going to say about this match is this. It's a good thing because Eddie is European champion, and now this opens the door to possibly having him face one of the Hardys at King of the Ring. So there you go. But also, this is basically the same thing as what, I don't want to compare it to New Japan, but challenger beats champion in a non-title important big match, because Rikishi, it's the King of the Ring. It's round 2 of the King of the Ring. Now Rikishi may open the door for the possibility of him becoming a top contender for, well, the European title, but still a title. Now we move forward with one of the few non-tournament matches of the night, as Kid-Quick and Al Snow lock horns, and Kid-Quick actually gets the win. Yes, I'm realizing how bad this name is compared to Ron Killings, and how happy I could be by just changing his name. So that maybe what I do, the next time you see K-Quick, he may be Ron Killings. And now we move forward to the final King of the Ring tournament match of the night, with William Regal coming out and cutting a promo on exactly why he has the only legitimate stake to being the King of the Ring, and that's because of his royal bloodline. But either way, William Regal comes up short against the man-beast Rhino, as Rhino wins against William Regal, and Rhino, Rikishi, and Dean Malenko all advance in the tournament, in the King of the Ring tournament, to go along with Jeff Hardy, Test, and Perry Saturn? Possibly Perry Saturn. I just have to look at the edition of Raw, and if you want to know what exactly happened to where I had them all written down, honestly, I don't know. I don't know where it disappeared to. All I know is I know all but one of the people that are in the tournament still. Partially because I know these matches tonight were tournament matches, so that's why I know so many people. But also, yeah. Either way, yes, I know it's heavily clouded with heels. I know that for certain, and in actuality, everyone that competed against each other in tournament matches tonight were heels. And I do believe that the last person on Raw most likely would be a babyface. So, yeah. But either way, Rhino, Rikishi, and Dean Malenko are the ones who advance in the tournament tonight on SmackDown. And next week on Raw, you will see the third round matches of the tournament, because, because I just want to have the semifinal matches and the finals on the pay-per-view and nothing else. But either way, we move forward, and for those who needed a recap, I added in that we pushed the camera over to Michael Cole and Taz to discuss what happened on Raw, as Triple H went down at the end of the show to a mystery attacker, much the same of what we saw from The Undertaker, and the announcer's question if it's possible that both Undertaker and Triple H were attacked by the same person. And the fact of the matter is, this segment was just basically used as a segment to catch everybody up on what happened, because I know it's been a long gap, and I apologize for that. And this is the last time you'll hear me apologize for the long gap in between videos, because unless I'm going to try and fix it, I gotta stop talking about it. It's not that I'm not going to try and fix it, it's just, I say it in every video pretty much, it feels like. But either way, now we move forward with Raven issuing an open challenge to the roster, and Raven is actually answered in a way by a former ally, and that is Canyon, who jumps over the railing and attacks Raven and hits him with the flatliner, leaving Raven right in the middle of the ring, and Canyon jumps back over the rail to go out, and you hear Michael Cole screaming, "Taz, that's Canyon! Taz, that's Canyon! What the hell is Canyon doing here?" The reason for this is because I think one of the big problems with the WCW invasion was that they introduced a whole mesh of new characters at one time. Nobody ever heard of Canyon who watched WWE. Nobody heard of, Booker T or Diamond Dallas Page Diamond Dallas Page, but, Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo, Brian Adams and Brian Clark. There were a lot of people in WCW nobody ever heard of that only watched WWE. So, to avoid them getting meshed together, I chose to go the route of having Raven bring in his good friend Canyon. Sorry, was just muting my phone. Val Venus I'll say I didn't realize. I don't know how my phone it just picked up Siri and then it went on Instagram itself. So I don't know, but I made a mistake. I thought that Al Snow and K-Quick was the only non-tournament match. This is also a non-tournament match, with Val Venus getting the win over Billy Gunn. Val Venus completely wrapped up together with him and the Good Father in the Right to Censor in their feud against the Dudleys. Billy Gunn, no real direction, which I think at this time he really didn't have any direction either, and that's why I think he was teaming with the Big Show. So, yeah. But either way, Val Venus gets the win here, not to put everything into context. William Regal, pissed off, icing his neck in his office. Chris Jericho walks in and starts to say something about Kurt Angle, but William Regal cuts him off and says, "Chris, I don't want to hear a word from you. You have time to come in here and complain. That means you have time to compete tonight. So go get ready, because you're in the main event tonight." But now we move to the next match with The Rock going up against Big Boss Man, and The Rock gets the win. Holy shit, The Rock got an 100 in the ring, probably having to do with his popularity level and his in-ring skill, but The Rock got 100. Rocky continue. You fuck. Rocky. This was supposed to be a shot at the Big Show, because the Big Show cut a promo about not being respected and not being taken seriously. And The Rock comes out after the match and says, so recently, the Big Show, you went on and said you went on and whined and moaned and complained about not being respected. Well, when somebody your size comes out and bitches and bitches and bitches, of course we're not gonna respect you. Put your money where your mouth is. You're in the big leagues now. No need to be a coward. Yeah, a very heel promo from the Rock. A very heel promo from The Rock, but also sort of a babyface one, basically telling Big Show that he's a giant. There is no reason why a giant needs to complain, and somebody like him should be letting his actions speak for him and not his words. And I just want to add in about the main event. Yes, with the fact that Benoit is challenging Austin at the King of the Ring, I probably shouldn't have went with the 25-minute draw. I also thought it was going to be an incredible match, so that's probably another good reason why I shouldn't have went with the 20-minute draw. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea. Now, I still say it was a good idea, but I will say that I also could have had Jericho lose because of Angle. I also could have done that. But either way, some people would say, oh, either way you're making Benoit look weak because he can't beat Jericho clean. Yeah, but no, I'm not doing that. I'm protecting my world champion by at the same time making Benoit look clean. I mean, respectable. But, I mean, with me, I can sit here and say it's because I haven't made a decision yet. But in real WWE, how can you sit here and say that if you saw a time limit draw between Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho take place on an episode of SmackDown, number one, you wouldn't have enjoyed the match, and number two, you're actually thinking, knowing that Benoit is going into a match against Austin at the pay-per-view, you're actually sitting here thinking that Benoit may actually win. I haven't made my decision yet. Yes, I'm actually contemplating giving the title to Benoit, but I'm contemplating it. That doesn't mean I'm actually going to do it, but I haven't made a decision what I'm going to do just yet. But also, I'm making the Intercontinental title. With this draw, I'm making Jericho seem on the level of the number one contender to the world title. Not the world champion. Not the world champion. Why? Why am I doing this? It's because of the fact that at this point, Jericho wasn't at the point where he was a respectable, credible main eventer. And if you think he was, think about this time, or you weren't watching. Because it was the invasion that made Jericho Jericho. That it was around the time of the invasion when Jericho's stock really started flying off the shelves, which is probably the reason why he ended up the first undisputed champion. But this is my way of pushing Jericho up a card and having him also pushing the Intercontinental title up a little bit, because the Intercontinental title, the Intercontinental champion just went to the time limit, a 25-minute time limit, with the number one contender to the world title. If that doesn't mean something, I don't know what does. Yes, I may be booking it in the way of, in real life it would get good. Yeah, I probably would. But this isn't real life. Final rating of a 78 and increased our popularity in 23 regions and lost its popularity in 25. I mean, at this point it's not like it hasn't happened before. That doesn't mean it doesn't still sting. But either way, it could have been worse, and I think we still accomplished a lot on this show, if not just from the King of the Ring. But either way, let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of the show. Do you think it was better than a 78? Do you think that's a fair rating? Also, if you have any comments, concerns about how I'm booking certain talent, or ideas of how to get talent booked better, let me know down in the comment section below, or you can always leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget the ding-dong notification bell to always know when a new video comes up on Wrestling Express. Till next time, later.